Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of Smith of the Black here with the Strat Time Report. And a little messy out there. And let's take a look. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that, you got things that were going down, going up, and things that are going up, going down. But for the most part, doing nothing. If you go to the SPY, you're going to see this Doji on the day, right? So far, doing nothing. Now, you had an outside day yesterday, and you're below that. So that gets my attention. But you can see this here on the hourly, 60-minute. Inside on the 60, slight poke up, then down, and now right back in the middle. So S&P SPY, these 3 hours are completely in the opening range. So we want to get out of that range, right? The thing about the daily, though, is as long as we're below here, that gets my attention because we're coming into the end of the week, and what are we setting up here? Well, still another doji week. Green on the month, but the question is then, what do we do? How do we get out of this? Do we continue to drop through this daily broadening formation? Or what happens on a Friday? Do you go 3 outside, 2 to the downside, and back up and just go blasting back to the highs, or you start to come in? If you go to the QQQ, a little bit worse. And the Q's trying to come back through this broadening formation here. Red on the week now. You can see still green on the month, so it's not the end of the world. And if you go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, you'll see this. Diamonds acting much better, right? Gaps down, but coming right back up into the old outside bar. So, but for the most part, chop shop in here. If you go to small cappers, we know they've been a little weaker, right? Taking out last week's lows, taking out last month's lows, bright red. But on the day, once again, doji. See these? 3 hours. Well, we just started the new hour, but 3 hours in the opening range. That's a problem. We want to get out of that range because we haven't. So we haven't. We have slight gap down, but we don't have definitive moves since then outside of the diamonds. The diamonds say yes. And so we got some things that are coming in a little bit here, but one of the things we want to watch is the VXX. Is VXX scared of any selling? So far, no. But once again, that opening range, we're still within it. So we want to see how we get out of these opening ranges, right? So we wouldn't be an inside day on a lot of these things because of the gap down. But there's something that it's similar to an inside day, and that's if you can't get outside of the opening range, right? But right now, VXX not very scared of any of the selling that we're seeing here. If we go to Apple, we know Apple's been one of the guys leading the charge. Now you got an outside day, and what that means is on a shorter time frame, you're going to have a broadening formation, and that happens. So here's Apple. So far on the day, your new 60-minute broadening formation. These are an outside bar of all of this. You see that? So we want to see how does Apple act out of this. You're red on the day. You're lower than the opening. So it's got some concern to it. But like I said, VXX not showing us that it's really scared at all. So if we go to the Dow Jones and say, okay, Dow Jones is stronger, then we can go to Honeywell. We know about this? Sure did. So here we're looking to complete this broadening formation. That'd be by taking this out. 234.02. Didn't quite make it this morning. Stalls out like a lot of things in the opening range, mind you. We want to know about that opening range. Right there on Western Digi. Hold on. I'm going to write this down. Watching things as they play out. China, you got Sohu doing this. Sohu here on the month. Inside month. Pokes down. 122 Rev Strat month. Boom. Takes off. Inside on the 60. There's your continuation. Your 212. And then we call this the Momo Hammer on the daily. Slight higher high. Comes in though. Anybody who stayed short and all this thinking it was going to roll back down, boom, gets trapped right in here today, and they take it right back up to the highs. So if we go to Moderna, and Moderna having a nice day. Here's that inside on the 60 right now. Right, so we want to see how that plays out. But a lot of things hitting the lows. SMH going to the lows as I speak. Right, but Moderna is one of the things we look for in the weekly. The 2 up by taking out the previous high. 2 down by taking out the previous low. And boom, these 2 become an outside bar of that. Right, so Moderna having a nice day. They're taking a defensive posture because we're They're coming into the utilities. You see this inside 60 on the utilities. We call this the Chicago setup. The outside bar, the inside bar, real move, boom, Utes still inside on the month, taking out last week's highs and coming back into an outside bar. That's always good. So utilities showing their strength in a somewhat soft market here. If we go to ADP, and ADP, just having a nice little day here. You've got exhaustion risk as you're going into the highs. Once again, there's the Momo Hammer Weekly. Here's all the shorts getting trapped, and boom, right here, take them out. We'll see if that sets up again for us. If we go to U.S. Bank, financials started to come out strong here, and you're going to see this. What do we look for? The inside day. Pokes down. Boom, RevStrat. Going to stop out these guys at least. And if that works today, RevStrat weak. Inside bar, down, boom, take these guys out. Already hits magnitude and stalling out like a lot of things here, so we'll see. Moderna goes to the highs as I speak. If we go to BNTX, once again on the weekly, inside week, pokes down, boom, for the rest of today and tomorrow over 217.60. And here's your outside bar day to the upside, taking these guys out. We'll see if that sets up again. Here's your measured move on the 60. 2 up, inside, boom, measured move. This is equal to that. That's what a measured move looks like. All right, spot trying to recover here on the 60. Once again, we're always watching that new 60 here. Right? That opening range is going to be an issue, but you also want to gauge your direction by the 60. Right, so you can see here, tried to poke down a little bit, now coming back on the 60. Like I said, VXX is showing us not really very scared at all. So we'll see how that goes. Downside, you got a lot of things starting off to the downside, but because of this opening range, this could change. Overstock from yesterday. Shooter counters, hammer still puking to the downside. Gives us outside week here, and now looking to go outside on the month. Right, so you're a lot closer to going an outside bar on the month than anything else. So see if we can get this thing to take out 82.35. If we go to SMH, and SMH having a day, just went inside and down on the 60. Not totally the end of the world, but you can see this. Triangle the out by going into the highs. So anybody short stopped out, and then boom, right back down, and that's going to be NVIDIA. And NVIDIA gives us the 2-2 reversal week. 2 up by taking out the previous high. 2 down by taking this out. Boom. Down she goes. You go to AVGO. How you looking, buddy? Just setting up the shooter, but outside day to the downside. Took that 60. How about AMD? AMD having a few issues going after last week's lows. But you can see stabilizing here. So there's a lot of things going back and forth. Moderna. Get boy. Take that Momo Hammer inside to the upside. If we go to Microchip, also in the semis, having some issues and taking out last month's lows. 2 up by taking out last month's highs last month. And then boom, 2 down. These two are going to become an outside bar of this one. It takes out that 138.15. It looks like it did it. So if we go to Coinbase, and Coinbase still puking. We've been knowing about this since the inside day. Inside week to the downside. Here, below 232.33. So still having some issues as Coinbase. Market trying to firm up here, and you can see this Dow Jones Diamonds doing this. Dow Jones Diamonds on the 15er. Here we go. Inside and up off the 15. Still leading the charge over there. How's Honeywell doing? Come on, Honeywell, wake up. How about Disney? Disney's still an inside day, but we're going to keep an eye on that because of the RevStrat week. Inside, then down, boom, up, outside month. So we'll see what comes of that. If we go to Western Digi. Western Digi having some problems here, and you can see potentially the outside week here. And anything that gets my attention in this market, outside month, by taking out both sides. Slight poke up, 3, 2-2 reversal. Looking to take this out here, 64.09. If we go to BIIB in the bio, and we know the bios have been having some problems here. The IBB, and I'll get to that in a second, but here on the weekly, take out the previous low, take out the previous high, and then boom. 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, boom. Down she goes. BIIB having some issues here. IBB coming back a little bit though. Like a lot of things are going back and forth on these 60s, and that's why you really got to stay on these 60s here to discern where you want to be. If we go to Sava, and Sava, volatile stuff, moving around, and that's what we'd like. And you want to come back to a previous range so you can stop some people out, right? And here on the weekly, 2 up by taking out the previous high, 2 down, boom. As soon as it takes this out, 87.40, right? You can see I just took that out, so we'll see if that sets up 60s or what have you. Right now, you inside in the 60? Not quite, so we'll see if that sets up again for us. If we go to ZM, and ZM, it's again, anytime it's red on the day and red on the 60, you got the month red after failing to go into the highs and coming back through, caused by this, the 2 up, the 2 down week, coming back through this range to stop a bunch of people out. So what you want to do is we always want to know what, how participants are positioned. So anybody who bought this week, that week, we want to use all these guys to stop each other out, right? So we'll see if anything more comes of that. Once again, SPY trying to firm up here on the 60, but this opening range going to be a problem, and that's going to mean back and forth. So you want to stay nimble in this environment. AMEH, and nice ranges in here. This is what we want as far as trading. It's like, oh, it's great. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's bad. Yay, boo. But anytime you can have that kind of movement, that's something we want to be involved in. We want to keep an eye on this. Let's see if this goes inside on the 60 coming in the bottom of the hour. If you go to TFX, and TFX, all sorts of trouble here. Once again, here on the weekly, inside week, pokes up, boom, Rev Strat week here, below 407.32, and a gap down there. So you might have heard me talk about a continuity entry. If you were watching this as it occurred, you'll see this. As soon as it pokes up and then goes back red, you can hit it right there. It's like, here's your minor short covering or bottom pick attempt, and then boom, just wipes out. Now inside on the 60, if we go to DOCN, and DOCN, outside weaker, just big, nice, bloody red. You can see the new 60 trying to firm up. We'll see if that sets up again. But I can't stress enough that when you have this opening range like we're looking at, you need to get out of there. Otherwise, it's going to be back and forth chop shop. Just be aware of that. Keep an eye on the VXX to see if they really want to start bringing these things in or not. So far, it says no. You got Coop. This is from the weekend video. 2 up shooter, boom, down she goes. Nice little 4-day sell-off there off the weekend vid, so you can keep an eye on that as well. But for right now, let's keep an eye on this opening range and go from there. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith of the Smiths in the Black with the Strat Time Report.